Today I'm servicing this beast of an engine. This is a QSX15. It is one of our stationary pumps. And well, we're going to be doing an oil change. Nothing too major since this is a pretty new engine. So an air filter, oil change, and a fuel filters. I went ahead and grabbed some empty 5-gallon jugs because this thing takes a lot of oil. So we begin by draining the oil. Now, of course, the catch pan isn't big enough. So what we're going to have to do is drain the oil, fill up the catch pan, then fill up these 5-gallon jugs. And we're going to do that repeatedly until we get all of the oil out. And of course, I have my coworker here, or ex-coworker, helping me out. He doesn't actually know I'm recording. We're also going to be changing all the oil filters and also fuel filters, which you'll see later on in the video. But these things are huge. You can see how big some of these filters are. They're about the size of a 5-gallon bucket. And you can see how tall that filter is. Of course, we're going to be using some quality ones. These are Fleet Guard fuel filters and oil filters that we're going to be using. The engine oil we're going to be using is Chevron Delo. This type of oil is actually recommended by the manufacturer. So we went ahead and selected one of the top quality oils that we could find for this engine. So you only see me filling up only 1 gallon of oil, but of course this actually took much more than that. So if you quickly do the math, that's 7 times 3, that's 21 gallons or roughly 84 quarts is what this engine took. Now we're going to go ahead and change all the other filters as well. Some of these were pretty tight on there, probably due to the fact that the whole engine was painted with the filters on, so it probably makes the filters a little bit tighter. We went ahead and filled it up with fuel and went ahead and screwed this new oil filter on. It does make it a little bit heavier and a little bit harder to put on, but you don't want to get any air in the system, and that's exactly what we did here. We also went ahead and changed out this filter here, and as you can see, the fuel also was gelled up. So we're going to go ahead and clean all that gel or old gel out and change the filter. Once we did, let's hear this engine start. The engine room was so loud, I ended up having to mute some of this video because it just got so overwhelming. You probably wouldn't even be able to hear me talk. So we're just, at this point, we are running the engine and making all our checks, make sure there's no leaks. And this is one of 13 engines that we service, all different types of engines, of course. We also went ahead and checked for any types of coolant leaks on this ginormous radiator. This is probably the biggest radiator I have probably ever seen in my life. We're going to go ahead and continue all our checks and then move on to the next engine. So now we are headed underground. Yes, some of these generators are actually underground. And once I get down the ladder, this is what it looks like inside one of these rooms. In case you're wondering, these are also known as sewer pump stations, also known as lift pump stations. And basically what these engines do is when the power goes out, these generators will run, allowing power to the pump and basically pumping sewage so that your living room isn't full of human feces. So these are very important for the city. This city in particular has around 13 of them, and they are scattered all throughout the city. Most of them are underground, but there are some that are also above ground. Now here I'm just changing the air filter, nothing too special, kind of like working on a car, but with a lot of space. So I actually tend to like working on these, at least I did at some point, but it does make it a little bit claustrophobic just because you're basically underground. Now there is some space, but not a whole lot. And yeah, so anyway, we're just going to finish up this service and then we're going to move on to our next project. Now, honestly, I would be lying to you if I told you that all the generators looked new, like this one right here. This one is probably the worst one I have seen. While working on some of these underground generators does suck, the views actually make up for it because some of these generators are actually located right off the beach, and just check out that view. Dang. So I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy my breakfast and, well, continue on with my day.